Hello, welcome to our homestead and mini farm. My name is Wendy. My husband Michael and I moved here to the Northeast Georgia mountains 5 years ago. We wanted to raise our own animals and grow our own food. We started with 16 chickens, and now we have 64 birds, 2 dogs, 2 cats, and 2 pigs. We like everything here to have a purpose. The dogs protect the birds from predators. The roosters allow us to incubate eggs. We do that during the spring and summer only because it's warm enough for the young ones to go outside. Um, our cats keep the mice at bay because we're in the woods. We have mice, we have raccoons, possum, squirrels, owls, hawks. So all of these things are a factor. We have to keep those under control to keep our animals safe. We incubate a batch of eggs about every 2 months during the spring and summer. This allows us to raise more chickens, sell some to people that want to raise chickens as well. If we get too many roosters, we need to process them after we raise them up. We put them in the freezer after we raise them and process them and clean them. Those are our food source. You can't have too many roosters in a flock, so that has to be controlled. So basically it's a win-win. Everything has a purpose, like I said. So if there's too many roosters in a flock, the roosters will fight aggressively. They can have bloodshed, even sometimes cause death. We want to keep that under control. So we keep the boys for food consumption. We also have, I mentioned, 2 pigs. We started the pigs in the 3rd year, and our plan was to have 2 pigs a year for the freezer, raise them up and process them for the freezer. And that has worked out pretty good for the last couple of years. And we're on our 2nd batch and they're doing well so far. It'll probably be about maybe another 10 months or 12 months before we can think about them being old enough for the processing, which we do ourselves. It's a lot of hard work and it's not always easy. Even the chickens, it's not an easy task, but it is necessary, and we know where our food comes from, and we know what we fed it, and we know it didn't have any chemicals. We know it had a great life. All of our animals are free range and roaming around all day long and go to roost or go into their beds at night, and then we lock them up, which I had said in the other video, hopefully you got. We also want to get to the point of sourcing most of our food. Our plan initially 5 years ago is to get to a 60% self-sufficient rate, because the commercial processed food just wasn't an option for us anymore, being our choice. Here are some of the items that we get from our garden and from our chickens, and then I have over here some books to show you how we teach ourselves how to do most of these things, because we both were from the city, or at least I am. My husband has some country background, but not me so much. Born and raised city girl, didn't know how to do any of this stuff, so I've had to learn through some of my husband's knowledge and a lot of books. So I just wanted to show you a couple of things. So we have a few samples of vegetables that we grew this year. We have some butternut squash and a little pie pumpkin. They were small pumpkins. They're meant to be small in case it kind of looks funny. One of our sweet potatoes, because we've ate so many of them. And this right here is funny because I didn't know what this was. Never knew this existed. This is called a Northeast Georgia candy roaster. It is a squash. Kind of tastes like butternut squash and a little bit of sweet potato kind of a taste, but the texture is more squash. It's delicious. It's sweet and it's yummy, but they can get quite large. We have found chicken of the woods mushrooms on our property, and these are some of the mushrooms that we dehydrated and are in a jar for later use. These are also some of the products that we've grown from the garden. So we grew jalapeno peppers, and we make this is jalapeno and I believe peach jam. Some canned peaches, jalapeno jelly, green beans, and this is what they look like, not canned in aluminum, which I always thought was funny too, because I never knew that. Oh, green beans, so some pickles from our cucumbers, some relish, and this is another relish, but it's real tiny relish, like minced relish. And then this one is strawberry jam. Over here we have some eggs, and it's pretty basket. Here's a duck egg, and this is a little chicken egg, quite a difference. They're different chickens, and this is a silky egg. This is one of the leghorn eggs, and it's more large like the duck egg. And then there's some large brown ones too, because we have some of the black and white chickens out there lay large brown eggs. So these, there's just a variety of egg and egg colors in here. And then over here, we have some books that there's actually a whole bookshelf of books that we bought to teach ourselves how to do different things. And this one was my first book. I bought it when we were still in Florida. And this was the book that I read from cover to cover, and all the different breeds of pigs, and try to decide what kind of pig we wanted to have here based on its attributes. And so this one was a really good book for us. And then we have this one, is just the woodland homestead, because if you got the other video, you see that we are surrounded by woods. So, we did have an intention to have a mini rabbit farm, which was just going to be to raise, 4 or 5 rabbits and process rabbit meat every few months for our freezer. We haven't got to that part yet. We did plan a rabbit hut, and we did plan to get rabbits, but it hasn't come to fruition at this point. So why do this? We just feel like we want to know what we put in our bodies, what we put in our ground, what we put on our plants. Basically, we know the source of our food. We're taking care of it. Somebody has to do it somewhere. Funny story, true thing happened today. The neighbor's kids came to the fence. They're 5 and 6 years old. The little girl, 5-year-old, and they came over to the fence line and they said, "We just wanted you to know that one of our chickens is out, and we don't know where it is. My mom let it out." And I said, "Well, we'll keep an eye out for it." And the little boy went on to say that it was a rooster, it was a boy, and it was picking on the other ones, and that they aren't sure if it's ever going to come home. And the little girl pipes up and says, I said, "Well, why didn't you just make it for dinner? Why don't you just have it for dinner if you don't want it anymore, instead of just letting it go?" And the boy said, "That's what I said." And the little girl goes, "No, that's no good. I only like chicken nuggets." And I said, "Well, where do chicken nuggets come from?" She's like, "I don't know, but that's the only kind of chicken I like to eat." So the story is that most people just don't know where their food comes from. And this is how it is with little kids. They have no idea that the chicken nugget came from the chicken, which I think is hysterical. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it. I'll be available for questions. Mrs. Kmet is going to put me on live chat with you for a few minutes to ask questions, and hopefully I can answer them for you. Thank you.